Hey, welcome. Let's dive right into a really profound idea. What if I told you that you're not actually stuck with the life you have? What if you could consciously build a new reality, a better career, deeper relationships, just by changing your personality? Okay, let's start with this number, 95%. Because by the time we're about 35 years old, a staggering 95% of who we are is just a set of subconscious automatic programs. Think about that. That's most of our thoughts, our behaviors, our emotional reactions, all just running on autopilot. So that begs the question, right? If 95% of our day is run by these unconscious programs, who's actually calling the shots? Well, for most of us, the honest answer is the ghost of our past self. It's a version of us that was programmed by old experiences and beliefs, and it's running the show today. And this brings us to this idea of the habitual self. It's the reason life so often feels like it's stuck on repeat. You wake up feeling the same way, you deal with the same kinds of challenges, and you keep getting the same results. We are, quite literally, just living out the habit of being ourselves. So what exactly is a habit in this context? It's way more than just, biting your nails or checking your phone. It's a whole package deal of automatic thoughts, actions, and feelings that we've practiced so many times that our body has basically memorized the script. Our body knows it better than our conscious mind does. It's a subconscious program. And here's the kicker. Our entire personality, how we think, how we act, and how we feel, it functions just like a computer program. It's the operating system running in the background of our lives, and it's constantly creating our personal reality based on its old, outdated code. But how does this program keep us so locked in? I mean, how is it so effective? Well, it all comes down to a really powerful biological mechanism, the thought-feeling loop. It works just like this. You think a thought. Let's say you're worried about a meeting at work. Your brain releases chemicals that make your body feel anxious. Then, that physical feeling of anxiety makes it way more likely that you'll think another anxious thought. And boom, you're in the loop. This cycle creates your entire state of being. Now, this next part is absolutely crucial to understand. Your body, on a chemical level, can't tell the difference between a real event that's happening out there and an emotion you are creating with your thoughts alone. So if you keep feeling unworthy because of something that happened 10 years ago, your body is chemically reliving that past experience right here, right now. And this really shows us the powerful choice we have in every single moment. We can run that old familiar program, the thought, I'm not good enough, which creates that feeling of unworthiness, and that chemically locks our body in the past. Or we can choose a new thought, something like, I am capable, which generates a feeling of empowerment and literally gives our body a chemical taste of a new future. So how in the world do we break out of that negative cycle for good? Well, the answer is as simple as it is radical. To create a new personal reality, you have to quite literally become someone else. This quote just nails it. To change is to think greater than how you feel. See, your body has been conditioned to those familiar feelings, the anxiety, the frustration, the unworthiness. Real change happens when you make a decision with such firm intention that your choice is louder than the body's craving for those old emotions. And this right here is why so many of our attempts to change fail. We try to build a brand new life using the same old personality. It was never about a lack of willpower. It was about trying to install new software on an old, incompatible operating system. It just doesn't work. To get a new result, you need a new personality. Okay, so it's not enough to just break the habit of being your old self. You have to intentionally decide who you want to be. And then you have to actively install that new program into your mind and your body. And the number one tool for this is something called mental rehearsal. I mean, elite athletes and musicians do this constantly. By closing their eyes and repeatedly imagining the perfect performance, they are physically changing their brains. They're installing new neurological hardware to prime their body for success. They are winning the game before it even starts. This is the ultimate paradigm shift. See, the old model of reality is all about cause and effect. We're waiting for something outside of us to happen so we can feel different inside. But the new model says you have to feel the emotion of your future before it happens. You have to teach your body emotionally what that abundant, successful, or loving future feels like now.
Now, I know this might sound a little abstract, but the application is actually very concrete. So, here's a simple, actionable blueprint you can start using tomorrow morning to get this process going.
So here's a practical way to do this. Every morning, before you grab your phone and connect to your old world, sit down and connect with your future self. Ask yourself, what is the greatest expression of myself I can be today? Then, rehearse it. Rehearse the thoughts, the actions, and most importantly, feel the emotion of that future now. Gratitude, joy, empowerment. And don't get up until you are literally wearing that emotion. If you take just one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this. Your personality, how you think, act, and feel, is not just a consequence of your life. It is the very engine that creates it. You change your personality, and you will absolutely change your personal reality. So forget about trying to predict your future. You're here to create it. The only question left is, who are you going to decide to be? And what incredible future are you going to start rehearsing tomorrow morning?